Welcome, brilliant minds, to your video lesson for today, Tuesday, October 17th. Right now, you should already be on page 140 reading your text. And we're going to go ahead and make sure that we are ready in our notes to take notes today from our textbook. So you're going to go ahead and you'll see you have classwork 1 already completed in your binder. And you should go ahead and make sure that you're working right behind that. So you can go ahead and add your name on the top left line. And then you can write my name, Miss Casey. Social Studies. And today's date, 10/17/17. And today is classwork 2. And today we'll be doing a Judaism review. Okay, now you've got your title for today. The next thing we're going to do is make sure we're thinking about this unit's big question, which is on the board. And then we're going to write here so we know what we're trying to answer this unit. We're talking about Judaism today. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Christianity, and then eventually we're going to build up to learning about Islam in the Middle Ages. So the big question is, how does religion change society? And let's think a little bit about what that means, okay? So we know that religion, we have some examples, right, of Christianity, of Judaism. Maybe you can do a better example of that start. Let's see if we can do it again. Of Islam. And we also have examples of society. This means like humans. This means kind of the world. Sometimes people think of this as civilization. So how do all of these religions change who we are? And today we're going to specifically be looking at an objective about this religion of Judaism. And so our objective for the day, we're going to write down here. Our objective is we will describe the beliefs of Judaism in complete sentences that use at least 2 vocabulary words. Okay, so that's our goal for today's lesson as we try and answer this bigger question over the course of the unit. So now let's take a look at our textbook. And remember that in this first week, we're looking not only to review about religions, but also to build some map skills for our quiz. So our quiz will be on map skills and on religion. So let's go ahead and go back to the textbook. And let's turn back a page until we see a map of where Judaism began. Okay, so we see this map right here, and we see it showing kind of a close-up of the Israelites from 1800 BC to AD 70. Okay, and we see it's kind of showing this close-up of the Middle East area that we saw yesterday in our map, and it has a couple of questions for us. So let's go ahead and add page 138 to our notes, and we have space for questions 1, 2, and 3 about our map. So right now I'm going to come back to my notes. I'm going to add page 138, and I'm going to write map. Underline it so these things stand out in my notes as my headings. And we said we had questions 1, 2, and 3. Now the first question says, what geographical features surround Jerusalem? So we're going to try and find Jerusalem on this map. And I see it here in this area. So So it's right here, and it looks like it's by water on this side, so that's the Mediterranean Sea. It's by water here, the Dead Sea. And it's also by this brown area, which is the Arabian Desert. So I'm going to go ahead in my notes, and I'm going to say that seas and deserts surround Jerusalem. Okay. And now if I come back here to question number 2, it says, where is Jerusalem located relative to Egypt? So whenever I see something about located relative, it's including me that I'm going to have to use my compass. So let's see if I can find a compass to help me. And if I look at my map, I see a compass rose right here that can help me to figure out and remember the directions on this compass to figure out where is Jerusalem relative to Egypt. So if I look, I see that Egypt is right here, and I say that Jerusalem is right here. So if I go north and east on my compass, I get to Jerusalem. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to number 2. I'm going to say Jerusalem is northeast of Egypt. Okay, let's take a look at what number 3 is asking. Number 3, critical thinking. Why might the Israelites have chosen Jerusalem for their capital city? Well, if I think about what Jerusalem is located by, I think it's probably more important to be close to the sea than it is close to the desert. So I think they probably chose it more for its seaside location. So I'm going to go ahead and say Israelites may have wanted to be close to the seas. Okay. Now that I've completed my map work, I can go back to my text and think about the people that lived in this area and think about what they believed in, because that's our objective, to figure out what Israelites and Judaism believed in. So this should be some of a review from last year. And let's turn the page in our textbook until we're on page 140 again. And now we're going to begin working on this guiding question. So what did the ancient Israelites believe? Israelites are the people of Judaism, also known as Jews. So I'm going to go ahead right here and make sure I know that I am now on page 140. And I can go ahead and write the guiding question is, what did ancient Israelites believe? And in order to make sure I understand that guiding question, I want to again brainstorm some things about who the ancient Israelites are, right? So we know that these are Jews or Jewish people. Okay, so it connects back to our objective to figure out what were the beliefs of Judaism. What did the people of Judaism, what did Jews believe in? And we're going to take notes on a couple of vocabulary words. The first vocabulary word we're going to make sure we want to define is going to be monotheism. The next vocabulary word we're going to define is going to be the Torah. And the third vocabulary word is going to be the 10 Commandments. Okay, so as we read, we're going to make sure we stop to define any of those words that we see. So now we can go ahead and begin reading. As we read, you're going to make sure you track along with me. So let's begin. You've probably heard of the religion of Judaism. You may not know, however, that it is both an ancient and modern religion. Many ancient societies worshipped many deities or gods. The worship of more than one god is called polytheism. A group of people in Southwest Asia, known as the Israelites, were different. Unlike other cultures of the day, they worshipped only one God. The Israelites believe that God sent prophets or messengers to share God's word with the people. The prophets communicated to the Israelites that their God created and ruled the world. They argued that God is very powerful, but also just and good. The prophets want the Israelites to understand that God expects goodness from his people. These prophets also believed every individual could connect personally to God through prayer, religious study, and good and just acts. The belief in one all-powerful, just, and personal God is called monotheism. The practice of monotheism made Judaism unique among ancient religions. So now I want to go ahead and define monotheism. Monotheism is belief in one God. I'm going to underline that word. Belief in one God. Okay, let's read a little bit more about their beliefs. We already have one vocabulary word, and that's going to help us to achieve our objective to make sure we can use at least 2 vocabulary words in our final complete sentences that we write. We're going to come back up to the top of page 141 and read the section titled The Hebrew Bible. We're still tracking with me as we read. The Israelites recorded their beliefs and history. These writings became known as the Hebrew Bible or Tanakh. Through the Hebrew Bible, the beliefs and faith of the ancient Israelites lived on to become the religion of Judaism. The followers of Judaism are known today as Jews. Although the original Israelite population was small, their influence was great. Judaism played an important part in the development of 2 other monotheistic religions, Christianity and Islam. Christians called the Hebrew Bible the Old Testament. Christianity grew directly out of Judaism. Islam also accepted many of Judaism's beliefs and practices. Through the Hebrew Bible, Judaism influenced the values, ethics, and principles of many other societies. So it's interesting here that we see a link between these different religions, and that's something I want to write down as a connection. So even though it's not a vocabulary word, I want to write that down in my thoughts. So I'm going to write down that it looks like Judaism influenced Christianity, which then influenced Islam. I'm going to put a little thought bubble here, because this is one thing that I'm thinking about as I'm reading. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn my textbook from page 141 now to page 143 and see if we can define our next vocabulary words. Known as the Torah, these teachings later became a part of the Hebrew Bible. The Torah made clear what God considered to be right and wrong. So the Torah is the Hebrew Bible, and let's go ahead and define that. So we can write Torah is the Hebrew Bible, also known in Christianity sometimes as the Old Testament. Okay. I see another vocabulary word coming up, so let's get ready to write down about the 10 Commandments. One important part of the Torah is the 10 Commandments. Loyalty to God is a central idea of the 10 Commandments. The name of God was never to be misused. The Israelites were not to worship any other god or images. This belief that there is only one God became the basis for both Christianity and Islam. In addition, the 10 Commandments later helped shape the moral principles of many nations. Think about the laws and rules we have today and how they might relate to these commandments. This is interesting because it makes me think about the Magna Carta and the Bill of Rights. Because we see the Magna Carta and the Bill of Rights are saying what we can do and what we can't do, kind of like the 10 Commandments. So let me go ahead and write that down as a connection here. All right, so I have another thought bubble. I'm going to write 10 commandments similar to Magna Carta and Bill of Rights. Okay. For example, the principles on which many laws are based, such as rules against stealing or killing, come from the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments also promoted social justice and a feeling of community. They contribute to the democratic belief that all laws should apply equally to all. This idea of equality is also another important part of the Magna Carta and the Bill of Rights. So we can add that here. The idea of equality. Okay. We can see here a picture. It says the Ark of the Covenant was a wooden chest overlaid in gold that held the tablets on which the Ten Commandments, part of God's covenant with the Israelites, appeared. So we can see a picture of what they must have looked like. And we can also see up here a list of the Ten Commandments. Right? Some of the things they mentioned, like not killing or stealing. So I'm going to go ahead and write down my definition of the Ten Commandments. Were 10 rules for all to follow. And now I'm ready to do my circle map to think about what I should be brainstorming about the ancient Israelites or Jews believed. So I'm going to write down in the middle, Jewish beliefs. And I'm going to put down 3 in my circle map. And I want you to add 3 of your own. So one thing I think they believed in is they believed in this one God. So I'm going to write one God. They also believed in, what else did they believe in? Well, they believed in the Ten Commandments, right? And that had things like you can't kill. So I'll write no murder. And the Jewish beliefs also influenced other religions. I'm going to say inspired Christianity and Islam. And I want you to go ahead and add 3 more things that they believed in to your circle map. And you can pause the video to add to that before we move on to our response. Okay, by now you should have 6 beliefs in this circle map, 6 things about Jewish beliefs. And now we're going to go ahead and answer that guiding question: what did ancient Israelites or Jewish people believe, and achieve their objective about describing the beliefs of Judaism in complete sentences that use at least 2 vocabulary words. So I'm going to write in complete sentences using my circle map to help me, using my vocabulary words to help me. So I'm going to put a star because this is going to be how I answer my guiding question and my objective. I'm going to say the ancient Israelites or Jews believed in, I'm going to cross that out, had several important beliefs. First, they believed, you can go ahead and finish that sentence starter. You can pause the video here to finish it. Okay, by now you should have written down 1 sentence for their first belief. I'm going to go ahead and add mine. You want to make sure that yours is as detailed as mine using a vocabulary word, but it should be different because you should have done it on your own. First, they believed in only one God, which was called monotheism. So I'm using my circle map to help me, and I'm using my vocabulary to help me. Make sure you're coming up with your own, because you only get a 2 if you're just copying down with mine. You want to make sure you're getting on your own way of saying their beliefs. We need to add a second belief to achieve our objective with 2 vocabulary words, right? So let's see, what else can we use of these vocabulary words? Which other one do you think you can do? Let's give you a sentence starter. Let's say, second, Jews believed. See if you can add a second one on your own using another vocabulary word or something from your circle map. You can pause the video here to add. Okay, by now you should have your second sentence on your own, and I'm going to add mine. Make sure you're thinking of your own and just checking yours against mine. Second, Jews believed that they should not kill others because it was against the 10 commandments. Okay. So you want to check to make sure that you have written complete sentences, that you have chosen at least 2 okay words. I have mine 1 and 2. Yours might be different, and your phrasing should definitely be different as well. Right? This concludes our video lesson. At this time, you want to make sure that you have classwork 2 in your binder rings. You want to make sure that your notes are open so Miss Casey can check them. You want to make sure that you can go ahead and close your textbook and put it in the center of your desk. And you may go on Cool Math Games, or you may go on CNN.com, CNN 10, in order to complete your work before the class ends. Thank you so much.